As the moments fly, trusting as the days go by, trusting Him whatever befall, trusting Jesus, that is all. Trusting Him while life shall last, trusting till earth be past, till within the jasper wall, trusting Jesus, that is all. Trusting as the moments fly, trusting as the days go by, trusting Him whatever befall, trusting Jesus, that is all. Trust and obey, 500. When we walk with the Lord in the light of His word, what a glory He sheds on our way. Let us do His good will. He abides with us still, and with all who will trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. Not a burden we bear, not a sorrow we share, but our toil He doth richly repay. Not a grief or a loss, not a frown or a cross, but if blessed if we trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. But we never can prove the delight of His love until all on the altar we lay. For the favor He shows and the joy He bestows are for them who will trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. Then in fellowship sweet we will sit at His feet, or will walk by His side in the way. What He says we will do, where He sends we will go. Never fear, only trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. And this one we haven't sung for quite a while. I just keep trusting my Lord. Well, we've never sung it. It's been several years. trusting my Lord as I walk along. I just keep trusting my Lord, and He gives a song. Though the storm clouds darken the sky, or the heavenly trail, I just keep trusting my Lord. He will never fail. He's a faithful friend, such a faithful friend. I can count on Him to the very end. Though the storm clouds blacken the sky, or the heavenly trail, I just keep trusting my Lord. He will never fail. I just keep trusting my Lord on the narrow way. I just keep trusting my Lord as He leads each day. Though the road is weary at times, and I'm sad and blue, I just keep trusting my Lord. He will see me through. He's a faithful guide, such a faithful guide. He is always there, walking by my side. Though the road is weary at times, and I'm sad and blue, I just keep trusting my Lord. He will see me through. Yeah, thanks for picking that out, Chad.
So as we're singing that there, I kind of felt like we should have had a little bit of steel guitar in the background and a kind of a 10-gallon hat and maybe a horse there. We appreciate Bob and Jan tonight, and always appreciate when Jan steps in. I know it's, if you've not kind of been there in front of people, it always takes a little bit to do that, but we appreciate her doing that. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing having kind of people that step in there, and we appreciate Teresa and the great work that she does, but we also appreciate those who step in and help there as well. We've been in churches before where we've not had any musicians, and so when we have more there, we're blessed. We're grateful for that. So that's one of the things you ought to be thinking as you pray tonight. Take the opportunity to thank God for that, that we have that there. Hopefully you have in front of you your prayer list, and we want to take the opportunity there to look at that prayer list, and then to see if there's anything that we need to add to that prayer list there tonight. Any additions to our prayer requests?
Yeah, Lori Anderson. I don't know what her married name is now. Do you remember her? It's Dave and Janie Anderson's daughter. She's 41. She's got a 9-year-old daughter herself. She's married. She just had a full heart transplant. And right now she's doing really, really good. They were surprised at how good she's doing. But she's going to need a lot of prayer. She's at the beginning of a long road, I'm afraid. Good kid. Dave and Janie's good folks.
Mm-hmm. We'll be praying there for Lori Anderson, who just recently has had a heart transplant. So we'll be praying there for her. Had the opportunity to talk to Jerry Rainey today, and he had his first procedure there yesterday, and they took care of the hernias, and so he was going in for 2 hernias, and apparently as he was going in for the hernias, they found a 3rd hernia as well, and so they took care of that. He's back at home now, and seems to be doing well. Got a little bit of weight restriction that he can't lift, but other than that, he was in good spirits and seems to be doing well.
I saw a couple that I used to work with for 28 years, and her name is Jerry, and her husband's name is Tom. But he told me today that Jerry's got dementia.
Okay.
She has that blank look in her eyes, and I asked her if she knew who I was. She said yes, and it wasn't 5 seconds later, she said, "Who are you?" And it was somebody I've known for 28 years. It's hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, dementia is a hard one to go through there, and so be praying there for Jerry and Tom as Jerry is going through dementia, and I think the couple goes through it there together because he obviously has to care for her, and that's a lot of responsibility to do that as well.
Their last name is Starr, S-T-A-R-R.
Starr, Jerry and Tom Starr.
Continue praying for Deb. We go see the surgeon tomorrow and the oncologist tomorrow to get all the results and see what the plan is.
Keep praying for Deb. They're going to the surgeon and the oncologist tomorrow and getting results and a plan, hopefully. It'll be a big day. Pray there for Nikki Meadows and for her family. They have been having a time there of it with the flu and sickness, and they get better, and as soon as they get better, another one gets it, and then it seems to pass it through the whole family again. And so I know they would appreciate your prayers there for that. And then Sandy Jones, too, also is fighting the flu and pneumonia as well, and so be praying there for her as well.
Who was the second one you said?
Sandy Jones.
How's Hunter doing?
I think he's doing okay. I'd say we're hoping to see him tonight, but I think he's doing all right. There was able to get back to work, and they're trying to get a plan. His car is totaled, and so they're trying to get him another car here, get that one paid off, and then get him another one. So might be doing something a little bit different. He was in a wreck Sunday morning. So his brand new car that he had just gotten is totaled. Yeah. So they're looking to get him, obviously get that one paid off and taken care of, and then looking to get him some other type of car to kind of get him going again.
My neighbor, she broke her foot, and she'll be off from work for about 6 weeks anyway. She had to put a rod in it, and on both sides, I think.
Sounds painful. All right, be praying for Linnea's neighbor who broke her foot.
We're still waiting news on Ken Bowen. He had some additional testing, possible heart valve replacement. Friend of ours from Bloomington Baptist. A classmate of mine by the name of Judy Sims, well, at least that was her maiden name. She's having to meet with a neurologist. She's had some seizures, a couple of seizures. They have her on some medication, but they're going to do some further testing on her. I haven't heard anything this week from her. And a grandniece by the name of Izzy, she had back surgery or some type of a back. Second time, I think. She's like 16 now. Yeah, she's like 16 years old now.
All right. So still waiting there on some results there for Ken, and then Judy Sims is going to a neurologist for some seizures, and then Don's grandniece Izzy had back surgery there, and so be praying for her as she recovers from that. Most of you probably have heard, but if not, be praying there for River's Edge. It's our kind of our fellow church here in Bedford, but kind of just through a series of circumstances, they've come to the point here just recently where they're going to be closing their doors. And so next Sunday will be their last Sunday.
What's the name of the church?
River's Edge.
Okay.
It's the other Southern Baptist church here in town, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah, and most of you know Phil Thorne and
Second.
that who's involved heavily there with getting that started. But anyway, after 16 years, it's they look like next week will be their last week. And so just be praying for them as they go through that. Be praying for the church members that are still there, that God will help guide them to another church, and that that none of them will kind of fall out or fall along the way there. And then be praying for Zach. Zach Blackwell is the pastor there, and a bivocational pastor. And I know it's always difficult to kind of go through that. They just recently relocated a building. You probably noticed that there. They recently relocated a building. They had the old car dealership down there on 37, and they were able to sell that to another church, and they kind of swapped buildings with the other church, and but there in the process, it wasn't to be. And so be praying there for them. I know they would appreciate your prayers there for that as well.
Both my nephews were baptized down there in a tub, metal tub. And it was, telling us how thrilling it was, Always remember that for them.
And Limestone Baptist was the mother church for that church plant. We were
Okay.
the only Southern Baptist church in the town at the time. And I remember when Phil first came to approach us about being one of the mother churches, and how we felt about another Southern Baptist church. Well, we're missions minded, okay? Southern Baptists are mission minded. We're not in competition with others that are spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. We were hoping they sometimes when a church is struggling, they can do a process that's called a replant, where they kind of restart the church. And we were hoping that they'd be able to do a replant there kind of with that, but that doesn't seem to be kind of an option for them there at the moment. So they are praying. There's a possibility that another ministry will take over the building.
Amen.
And so you can be praying for that another gospel preaching ministry will take over the building. I know that sometimes we see the sad loss of a church, and we understand that churches have life cycles just like people have life cycles. There's birth and health, and then oftentimes there's even death as part of the life cycle there. What we look for in that is that even all that God would be glorified and that a gospel witness would remain. And so we got plenty of people here in town, right? We can certainly do several more churches. And so be praying there for that. We want them to do well, to succeed. But as they go through this, we want God just to kind of be with them and help guide them in these next steps. Not easy steps, difficult steps.
Have you heard any more about the North Ethan?
The last we heard is they are going to be kind of merging together with another church, and the other church is going to be taking over their building. We were mentioning that a little bit last week. Gateway Church is a church there in the Cleveland area, and they're healthy, and they're kind of outgrowing their current facilities, and so they were looking for some options to kind of look for a little bit larger facility. The North Eaton's facility, they have about 150 people meeting in 2 services in a church building that seats about 100, and so they were hoping to bring everything back into one service, and they needed a larger facility to do that, and this comes up available, and so they are going to merge together with Gateway, and it looks like they'll begin to use that as their church building. So again, it's kind of it's sad to see one church kind of close, but it's a great thing that the gospel witness is still there, and a healthy church is going to begin kind of ministering there in that area. And so we're glad to see the best of a bad situation there. So that they are aiming to be in the building by Easter. So they've got about 3 months. There's a little bit of renovations.
About 6 weeks.
Well, yeah. I guess it's right. I think it's something else. They've got a little bit of renovations they want to do to the building. There's some changes they want to do to make the building function a little bit better for them. But yeah, they should get those done before Easter, and their first Sunday of their worship is aiming to be Easter. So we would love to hear a report where that building is packed out by Easter. So that's what we're hoping for.
How's Kenny and Sharon doing?
I believe they're doing well. And I know they stopped by the church the other day, and I didn't get to see it because I was doing something else, but I believe they're doing well and up and moving around and just recuperating I know she's recuperating well but just kind of getting ready to where she's in that healthy spot that doesn't need
Is her
help.
daughter staying with her?
Last I heard, she was still staying there with her. Let's go ahead and break up into some small groups here, 2 or 3 people, and we'll pray for these. And if you don't want to pray, just let your kind of people in your group know, and you can pray silently while everybody else there prays. And then by the time we're done praying, we'll come back together and we'll say the word of God here together.
What?
Are we 2 or 3 or are we 5?
We could be 3 or 5. 4, 5, or 2.
Yes, we can do 5. You want me to- I'll start. You want me to go right ahead?
Susan don't want to, and I know.
I was going to see if you pray.